Hello, I'm Ross Burland. I'm an editor and analyst for FXStreet, and we're coming to the end in Asia for this week, and I'm already starting to look ahead, as the week ahead is going to need plenty of planning. It's a very eventful week. There's probably a handful that I would pick out as the key events, but we're starting with Japan, with the IP moving quickly into US tick flows, manufacturing and housing. We have the RBA minutes after they've cut interest rates by 25 basis points, concerned about inflation and the price of the Aussie. We have UK retail sales, PPI and CPI, and the inflation reporting hearing, probably is the key event of next week in the UK markets. We have the Aussie jobs numbers, again, after the RBA have just cut interest rates. We have the FOMC minutes, UK retail sales, and we have the Bank of Canada CPI to close off the week. So to pick the key events next week would be staying with the RBA, the minutes and the jobs numbers, the FOMC minutes, and the inflation reporting hearing from the Bank of England. Now, the Bank of England, they went out, they pulled out all the stops with a rate cut. They weren't too aggressive. They could have done more, but the key question is how much more can they do before they're into negative territory? So is the next move going to be a 25 basis point cut, or will it be a 10 basis point cut? They went out with all the stops, as I said, increasing their expansion of QE with corporate bonds and ultra cheap loans to banks. Now, what was interesting this week is that there are limitations for the Bank of England of what they're able to do, because what was highlighted is the market took them on and they weren't meeting the bank's offers. So we as a result of that, we saw short-term UK gilts already go below zero. So as I've touched on there, is where do they head next? So next week is going to be very, very eventful. The pound there below 130 already. That was all instigated by the non-farm payrolls, with the surprise there. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Bank of England are overly dovish that the pound could continue its free fall and 120, not by next week, but certainly in the last quarter of this year, is not an unrealistic target. So all the best out there for a very busy week ahead. Thank you.